I think they can and they must. We can understand, at the beginning is sort of a theatrics, and with the U.S. side opening up a number of charges, of course, you would expect the Chinese side to respond in kind. So obviously, that was not helpful and didn't, look good in terms of atmospherics. But I think once the camera were out of the room and when both sides sat down to talk about the matters, I think I would assume they would be engaging in more serious conversation. There are a number of issues on the table. And certainly from the U.S. side, apart from a number of domestic concerns regarding Xinjiang or Hong Kong, or to some extent also cross-strait relations, Taiwan, the U.S. side is very much concerned about the Chinese foreign policy behavior and what it means for the rule-based order, and in particular, the Chinese trade sanctions against Australia. From Chinese side, of course, there are issues about U.S. sanctions and restrictions on sales and to Chinese tech companies. So there are a number of issues that they likely were engaged in discussion.
The issues, I think, are fairly clear on the table. The Biden administration had an opportunity to walk back some of the trade sanctions, some of the tariffs, and some of the additional restrictions on technology. It hasn't done that. In fact, if anything, it's doubled down by introducing the issue of Xinjiang and the Uyghurs in a more prominent way. Again, let me put the question to you. Where does this relationship go next, if not further escalation of the friction?
I think, obviously, there are significant challenges ahead of the two countries. But I think one factor that is quite important is that neither side can prevail over the other side to make the other side to concede or blink the eye first. And there are serious matters that both sides should be dealing and must deal with in the coming months. And the Biden administration just started. So we're talking about North Korea nuclear challenges. We talk about climate change, and where I think the two countries do have some common interests. And trade in itself also is very important. Of course, the U.S. side want to have protection of intellectual property, market access, and allowing the American companies to do trade without being subjected to technology transfer, so-called forced technology transfer, where for China, of course, it wants to have some a bit of certainty in doing business with the U.S. And for Biden, I'm not sure about the frontal attack on all different aspects, all the different fronts, domestic issues, trade issues, regional security issues. I think there need to be some priorities, and I think this is where the two sides need to figure out, where they can cooperate and they should cooperate, and where they should manage tensions unless tensions escalate into open conflict, which neither side wants to see.